Let's talk about Ryan Garcia and the mole in this camp, and talk about did Ryan Garcia and Gervonta live up to expectations. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Appreciate your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, $sign CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Let's cook for a minute. So, let's talk about did live up to the expectation or whatever. And personally, it wasn't a bad fight. I think it was better than David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Obviously, it had a knockdown and a knockout, and it didn't have kind of Kenny Bayless, you know, stopping the show. And I interviewed Kenny Bayless. He's solid. I'll give it to him. But, you know, we all have our down nights or whatever. So I thought it was better than Benavidez and Plant. You know, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I say it was like a 6, 10 being the greatest and, 1 being the lowest. I say it was a 6. I'll give it a solid 6. You know, it was solid. And I'm gonna tell you this, I was at a fight party. I was at a party. It was supposed to be an all-white party, and they were showing the fight on 2 different screens. They were streaming it though. It looked like it was a real thing though, but they were streaming or whatever. And a lot of people got bored watching the fight, especially in the first round, like when something gonna happen. And then, after a while, the fight carried on and, ain't really much was happening, outside of when, Ryan Garcia threw that flurry and Tank dropped him. They turned the music back on. And then Ryan Garcia kind of got stopped. Everybody stopped paying attention, and Ryan Garcia got stopped. And then people was like, what happened? What happened? Because they stopped paying attention to it, and they showed the replay. And then after that, that was what it was. So just looking, obviously seeing people who weren't invested in boxing and didn't know much about boxing, I would say the fight didn't deliver what they thought, but it was a knockout. And I think people stopped paying attention because, it was pretty much Gervonta Davis using Ryan Garcia's lack of footwork and not being able to punch on the move. And he used it to his disadvantage. That's why Gervonta just kept doing a little settle side movements and making, you notice Ryan Garcia had to pick his heavy feet back up to reset. So, he had to pick his feet back up to keep resetting, and he did that to keep him off balance where he could never sit and get off. And then he started, countering and all that other stuff to, offset Ryan Garcia. So to me, it didn't take a genius to know Ryan Garcia and had the best footwork. He wanted to be fully planted to throw like most Mexican fighters. So to me, it was more technical. And I thought, kind of once when somebody got hit with a real shot, that a fight would break out. And Gervonta Davis didn't get in a firefight with him. He didn't exchange with him. He waited for the right openings, counter. He took a more Mayweather type of approach. He was more safety first in this fight. He was more defensive. He said he was going to work on his defense coming into this fight. He wanted to get caught with no bullshit. He fought a safety first fight, and then, really, even a knockout was more defense than offense. He got clipped, but it was the way he rolled. He rolled under the rest of the bullshit that came with the shot. And he came up with the liver shot. You know what I'm saying? So once you started talking about that, he showed that he can be a really, really good defensive fighter. He was safety first in that fight. And, people was looking for a knockout, slobber knocker, type of fight. It was it was Ryan Garcia who was trying to bring the fight to him, and Gervonta just played it safe. And at the end of the day, people came to see a knockout, and he still delivered on a knockout, but it didn't have the, it wasn't Hagler Hearns. You know what I'm saying? And, he was more defensive. He was more counter-punching. He didn't really bring the fight to Ryan Garcia. He worked off what Ryan Garcia brought to the table. He really worked off what Ryan Garcia brought. And Tank is a natural counter-puncher, it looked like. That just so happened to have power. And then those are dangerous combinations, because when I got power and I'm a counter-puncher and I can punch you with a shot that you don't see coming, a lot of times you're going to get up. So he was more defensive that fight. And, that's not what's going to grow your fan base. What's going to grow your fan base, he just got to continue to get knockouts. So, he's somebody who's not going to come in. He come in dry. Both fighters came in dry. It's a lost art to warm up now. But I would say it didn't live up to what I thought it would be. But it wasn't significantly far off. It was just that Ryan Garcia was in there with a really good counter puncher and a power puncher. But he still delivered a knockout. So I actually enjoyed the fight. It was a chess match. I wouldn't even say it's a chess match. It was a checkers match, because Ryan Garcia don't possess the tools to be in a chess match. So to me, it was a high stakes checker match. So I think it failed to deliver as far as the hype. I mean, nobody calling for a rematch, whatever. Did the rehydration clause have something to do with it? I just think Ryan Garcia wasn't seasoned. I just think Ryan Garcia wasn't seasoned. And that's what happened when you try to skip steps. And Gervonta Davis, he didn't skip as many steps as Ryan Garcia. He took his time. He stayed active. Unlike Ryan Garcia, he took his time or whatever, and he remained active. So you got to give him credit for that. He remained active, and and they moved him slow and steady. And Ryan Garcia, if he was going to be fighting the level of competition he was fighting, he should have been fighting 4, 5, 6 times a year, getting them type of repetitions in. But, for him to kind of continue his career on and actually get a world title, he going to have to be serious about boxing, bro. He got to start from the beginning. Learning to throw the jab, learning how to take speeds off his punching power. He's an amateur. That's what he is. He's a professional amateur. And I don't mean that in Lomachenko or Amir Conway. They were more polished coming out of the amateurs than he is, and he just refused to. He just sounded like he refused to. He don't know how great how important and how great his lead hand could be. That can win him a championship just off the lead hand. He don't know how to throw a right hand. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know how to throw an uppercut. So I mean, you hear Tank Davis say, "Well, thank Mayweather for providing the keys to victory." If you needed a mold, you needed a rehydration clause, you needed a catch weight, you needed Mayweather advice to beat Ryan Garcia, I'm very, very concerned about, what you gonna do to beat Shakur Stevenson, what you gonna do to beat Devin Haney, what you gonna do to beat Lomachenko, what you gonna do to beat the Regis Prograis, what you gonna do to beat the Sabril Matias who called him out, what you gonna do to beat those guys. If you needed all this to beat Ryan Garcia, all that tells me is you're not going to get in the ring with those guys anytime soon. And guess what? The fucked up thing about it is those guys are younger than you are. And the other messed up part about it is Shakur's going to seem like he said he's going to stick around at lightweight for a while. So it don't really matter. At some point, y'all both being from the East Coast, he going to have to answer that bill or start eating some of that crow Errol Spence ate. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. He going to start eating some of that crow that Errol Spence ate. Errol Spence start hearing footsteps in the dark. Now, talk about the mold coming off, saying he was a mold and, I hurt you to the body, Ryan Garcia. This professional who's 5-0, whatever his name is, I put in the title. And Tank Davis going to his body religiously. To me, they needed all that to beat Ryan Garcia. Is very concerning to me in Gervonta Davis' camp. Once again, rehydration clause, catch weight. You needed Mayweather's advice. And you needed somebody in his camp feeding y'all information. To me, that's weak as hell. And I understand the art of war, doing what you got to do to win. But this kid was moved wrong. This kid didn't want to box. He didn't have a reputation. And he didn't move up the ranks the right way to be even remotely ready, or should even come close to really touching you in this fight. And you needed a mold and all this shit you needed in the camp to beat him. Dog, this dude ain't fighting Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney no time soon. Or Lomachenko. He ain't fighting a Sabril Matias or Prograis or Josh Taylor or Teofimo Lopez. He could have fought Teofimo Lopez for what, 75% of the division. 85 if you equate in the Ring magazine title. And Mayweather said, I want to see T.O. and Tank Davis fight. Now you want to see T.O. and Tank. That T.O. looked like he on the downside of his career. When they was in the same division, around the same division, he had all the belts. Y'all weren't trying to see him. Don't count on this dude fighting nobody, bruh. And the same thing, I'm going to talk about Benavidez and Morrell, too. I'm going to try to squeeze that video in Tuesday. I'm going to do that next when I get my next break. The thing about this, and Henry got on me yesterday when I said about Benavidez, and I'm going to continue to address that. The thing to me about all this is, Benavidez fight Morrell is a step backwards in the business world, the business side of boxing, even in the actual physical side of boxing, right? Gervonta is going to take a step back from this. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to step it up forward and go after Haney and go after Shakur Stevenson or go after a name that's going to continue to progress his thing. That's what you got to do. You got to capitalize and keep leveling up with names. And that's how you're going to become a staple and a cornerstone in the pay-per-view market. But him having to do all that shit, the Ryan Garcia, bro, that's very concerning to me. That tell me how you really don't think he the best, bro. And you know, when people want to say I'm hating at being naked, I'm just keeping it real. It's like Muhammad Ali needing all this help, you know, and all this to beat Dillian fucking White. That's the equation of this. He need all this inside information to beat Dillian White. Everybody say, well, I don't watch tape, or, I just make adjustments on the fly. Make your adjustments on the fly then. You need all this competitive advantage to beat Ryan Garcia. And to that sparring partner, bruh, I would not host him in my camp no more. If I'm any of these fighters, he had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, disparagement agreement before I allow him in. Like, I'm paying you, right? I'm paying you and getting good work in from you. And all of a sudden, Tank stopped him to the body because he knew his body was weak. And then the thing about it is, these niggas can't keep their mouth shut like these hoes can't keep their mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying by that is, they couldn't even say, oh, you got a Romolio camp. You got a Molio camp. Why? Shut up. Why do the public need to know? That's how I had this dude I used to work out with, right? And down the line, like he ended up selling dope or whatever. And he said the reason they got caught because the guy he was selling dope with kept telling all the women in the street, yeah, I sell dope. This is how I get my chain and all that from. And they got popped because he kept running his fucking mouth. Just shut up. That's something you could have saved for a docuseries down the line. That's something that you should have took to your grave. Oh, we had a mo. You don't need all this to beat Ryan Garcia. I'm highly concerned. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out the Box News playlist for more videos like this. Thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit my link tree, find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Peace.